And then my most favorite way to connect to the plant, which is so overlooked but is so powerful, is to... Hello friend, I'm Sandler. Welcome to my channel. I'm an herbalist, a creative, a mystic, and I love the plants so much. We all have communicated to plants for thousands of years, and you're probably already doing it now, but it's really this journey of remembering and relearning and practicing and cultivating these relationships with the plants so that we can receive their medicine so much more deeply, and that we can really reclaim this deep friendship, this kinship, this allyship that humans have had with the natural world, with the plants for thousands of years. And only in recent history, living in these modern times in these cities, being disconnected from the wild, have we forgotten. Okay, so I feel like the biggest key here is to really remember and recognize that plants have spirits. And just like us, they're also here physically, but what we're looking to do when we communicate with them is to communicate with their spirit. And in order to do that, we need to tap into our own spiritual, intuitive gifts and ways of communicating through spirit. And so these are all the different clairs. This is either, receiving visions or clairaudience, like hearing, songs or hearing things from the plants. It might be feelings, emotions might come up, or it could be physical feelings in your body. It could just be knowings that you receive. It could be communication from them in your dreams. So all of these are like a muscle that we need to remember and really build again, because in the modern world it's been so atrophied. We've been told that these gifts are not real, or that you're crazy if you connect to these gifts. And so in order to connect to the plants more deeply, we need to go on our own journey of reclaiming these intuitive gifts, and then we can begin to really tune into the messages. And maybe you're someone who's already gone on that journey of reclaiming these intuitive gifts for yourself, and you feel like you do have a good connection with your intuition, or maybe you're just ready to dive in, like the plants are calling so loud. And so the most basic thing that you can start with is by ingesting the plant. Like, really feel into what plant is calling to me. Maybe it's a plant that's local to you and you've noticed it on your walk, like a beautiful flower, or maybe it's just, you've been cooking with rosemary all the time, or thyme, or like even a lot of these culinary herbs are plants that have such potent spirits and have so much medicine for us to connect to. And so really receiving, okay, what plant is calling to me, and then purposefully ingesting them. And there's so many amazing ways that we can ingest plants in just those culinary ways, but there's also tinctures, which is really a potent way to connect to them. And then there's also the smoke medicine, which, we can just burn it and let it wash over us, which is really quite an ancient way and can be very powerful as well. Or we can also actually physically smoke the plants, which you can watch my video about smoking flowers if you'd like to learn more about that. And also flower essences, in my opinion, is the most powerful way to connect to the spirit of a plant, because this is when the spirit is infused into water. Either way, whatever way, maybe it's just with tea. Like, tea is beautiful as well. Whatever way, you can ingest this plant with the intention of connecting more deeply to her. And so simply just having that intention of like, I want to get to know you, I want to communicate with you, and then just sitting in your own little ceremony in your own space and really giving the plant a chance to communicate through your different clairs, through your intuition, and really be opening to receiving. Maybe you want to, say a plant that's connected to the dream realm, like mugwort. Maybe you want to have some mugwort tea before you go to sleep and set that intention to receive messages or get to know mugwort in your dream space. So you can really, there's like such a diverse range of ways that you can connect to the plant. So really find what resonates most with you. And I would really recommend just focusing in on one plant at a time, because it can make it so much more potent. And if you are on this journey of like, okay, mugwort's really calling to me, I'm going to connect to her in my dreams, maybe commit to connecting to her every day for a week, or every day for a certain amount of time. And this will really help you deepen your relationship with the plant. And this is what I've been doing in this course I've been taking on Vancouver Island. And it's been powerful, you know, to receive the medicine and really get to know the plant. And then it's like you start to see these different synchronicities and these different ways that the plant is communicating with you when you're not even, you know, intentionally giving it space to, you know. They'll start to show up in your reality because they're really intertwining with you and really weaving their medicine into your world in ways we don't even fully understand. And so this is really more of like a plant diet, but you don't need to go into it that far, but essentially just committing to a plant, committing to connect to it every single day for a certain amount of time. And perhaps then you also want to give this plant offerings or an altar. This can really expedite the process of connecting to a plant, but you don't have to do it that way at all. You can just give space, just casually having a tea, connecting to mint, and just see what comes up. Like, what is her spirit like? What is her medicine like? And this is such a different way of us remembering the medicine of the plants than simply, you know, Googling like, oh, what is mint good for? Or like, you know, how, like, what can I use to, like, I'm nauseous, you know, what can I use? What plant can I use? Because when we deepen these relationships to the plants, we just know, like, we just intuitively know because we have a connection, you know, just like you have different friendships and you just know, like, this is the friend I would go to for advice. This is the friend I would go to for fun. So when you cultivate these relationships, you just get to know the plants and you just know that when I'm feeling nauseated, I'm going to take some cedar. When I'm feeling like I really want to have a restful evening, I'm going to take this plant. And you can really interweave like the spirit with the very physical reality that, like, we use plants as physical medicine to support us in this physical realm. And that's also what they're here to do. And I invite you to go watch my video about how to talk to trees. It's essentially the same kind of process if you're looking to have like a one-on-one chat with a plant and you want a bit more of a container, a bit more of a framework of how really to drop into that, go watch that video. But yeah, really ingesting the plant, being intentional, cultivating a relationship just like you would any relationship that you have in life, which is like showing up for someone, listening to them, giving and being open to receive. And then my most favorite way to connect to the plant, which is so overlooked but is so powerful, is to be with them in person. And it blows my mind. Like, this is such a game changer because it blows my mind that there are, you know, clinical herbalists out there. There are people who have studied plants for years and they've never actually seen some of these plants growing in person. And it's just like, you know, if you know someone online, sure, you might know them in certain ways, but when you're actually with them in person and you see them in the flesh and you're in their frequency, it's a whole nother level of knowing them, right? And you actually spend time like growing the plant from seed or just simply having it in your garden and tending to it. Like, that is a whole another level of relationship and knowing a being. And so this is my most favorite way that I would recommend anyone, even if you're in a city, if you can just get a small basil plant, rosemary plant, mint plant, whatever, to have even just in your kitchen or to have out on your balcony. This will be so profound for you to actually see how it grows. And those are ones that we're really familiar with, but it is kind of mind-blowing that, you know, a lot of us will take medicines, you know, we'll take ashwagandha or we'll take mugwort and we have no idea what she actually looks like, what she's actually like in person. So if you really want to get to know a plant, either going out into the wild, into the forest and, you know, foraging, wildcrafting, or just being in the presence of these plants that are calling to you, or growing them yourself, which is such a magical and potent experience. And I just feel like is so essential if we want to have a really deep, intimate relationship with certain plants. So I'd love to hear in the comments what plant is calling to you right now. And yeah, your favorite ways to really deeply create relationship with the plants and really remember these natural ways of being as, you know, wild earth beings, of connecting to the natural worlds. Yeah, I would love to connect with you in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. Like, I just feel like this is such an important part of us rewilding ourselves and reclaiming ourselves as human beings. And I also feel like the plants have so much medicine to share with us, and we can't fully access it when we aren't truly in relationship with them. Like when we're just taking a tincture and we don't even know what's in it. Like, I just feel like the medicine isn't as strong that way. So I'm excited for you to receive more of the beautiful medicine of the plant beings. And yeah, until my next video, I shall see you soon.